Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dave Beaver. Welcome to another episode of Grappling with Life. And I'm super pumped because today we are joined once again by the founder, the creator of Phalanx. We had him on the show not all that long ago, but we have been waiting for this specific day, the 29th of June. I've been excited for this entire month to be able to, in this exclusive way, on this platform, be able to partner with Phalanx. They're going to roll something out today. They're getting ready to make this huge announcement. And Phalanx is an organization that gives back. So if you're not familiar with Phalanx, let me tell you something. I am a fan. Not only do I think it's the Cadillac of no-gi gear, it's all I wear now. My wife told me, stop buying Phalanx equipment. We're going broke. So long story short, without further ado, please welcome Chris, the owner, the founder, the creator, the mastermind of Phalanx and his incredible team. Chris, what's up, man?
What's up, man? That's quite the introduction. I have a lot to live up to.
Well, if I don't stop buying Phalanx gear, my wife, I'm not going to live. I think she's threatened my life. But I'll tell you what, man, I got the new Grove City Brazilian Jiu Jitsu Academy kit. We got our custom Twisted Church kit, man. Yep. Tied it to a fundraiser. Super excited about that. But dude, the gear is so incredible, man. Like the material, it fits right. I just want to keep coming back to it and applauding the design and the intelligence and the craftsmanship that goes into it. And I'm saying it from as a practitioner. Then I got promoted, so then I had to buy a ranked rash guard, right? And then you guys opened the vault, and you guys put out the 300 soldiers, so I had to buy that. So I am, it's just crazy, but
yeah. Well, I'm glad that you noticed that because our products have been ripped off so much that it almost kind of seems like the standard now. But we put a ton of work into nailing those signs, not just the fit. The fabric itself was sourced specially. I had tons of swatches sent to me, and I mean, it was an ordeal. Even the thread, like there's different grades of thread. You can get cheapo thread, you can get polyester, you got all these different styles of thread. Yeah. And so if you don't actually put in on that, the factory is going to use whatever's cheapest. Yeah. So you'll get a knockoff for sure. I'm not gonna throw any brands under the bus that I know are doing it, but what they probably didn't do is they probably just copied the pattern. There's no way they copied the fabric, and there's no way they did the thread, and like all these little things. So for you to say that, and you can feel, you're not sure what it is, but you can tell when you put it on, that makes you feel pretty good.
Hey, and not only that, I can actually super saturated sweaty. I sweat a ton. I can actually take it off without getting stuck in it. Some rash guards cling to you and you can't even get them off. So, man, I just continue to tell people, once you put a Phalanx on, bro, you're not going to want to wear anything else. You're not going to be buying $14.99 rash guards off Amazon no more. It's just true. No, it's true. Hey, man, well, I'm excited about today. Today, you're making a big announcement. You're rolling something out. So let's just get into it. This big announcement, Phalanx has been known for being charitable in their giving back to the jiu-jitsu community. What is it that you guys got cooking, man? Let's roll it out right here together today.
To be honest, I don't know if we're even known for that because for years, I did not do a good job of promoting how much we actually give back. And the reason I didn't do that is because I felt so uncomfortable bragging. I felt so uncomfortable getting onto a blog and being, yo, check out what I did. I did all these things because I liked it. It was so hard. And but what we ended up figuring out is my team bugged me. Like, we got to get this out there. And I'm like, but I'm not going to write about me. I'm just not going to do that. So now they do. They're like, well, then we'll do it. So now we're getting much better at promoting how much we give back because the team is doing such a fantastic job of identifying all of the charitable endeavors that we've had. We have donated to underprivileged youth in the Boston area all the way back to 2013. There's a Bridgeway Academy autism thing we do. I mean, there's so many, man. Police officers, military, law enforcement, you name it. And so we've been doing it forever. I just did a really bad job of marketing it because I felt like if I'm bragging, then I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. Sure. But my team helped me realize that you got to promote it though, so that you can attract more people. And thanks to me listening to them, here you are, and you got noticed. So we are trying to make more of a point to show how much we actually do care about the jiu-jitsu culture as a whole, and how much we give back. Because it's not enough to just make, like you were saying before we started recording, there are certain tournaments out there that are cash focused only. And you're trying to come up with something where it's more about having a bigger mission. Well, that's Phalanx. If you put us into an elevator with every other BJJ brand out there, and you all the other owners are in an elevator with you, and you're like, hey guys, why don't you tell me what makes you guys different?
Yeah.
Don't tell me what you sell. Don't tell me your products. Don't tell me about your gis.
Yeah.
Tell me what makes you different from everybody else in this elevator.
Yeah.
I can answer that. I don't know if they can. And by the way, you don't have to. If the answer is, I like to make a product and make a lot of money and keep that money because I like to spend it and have fun, I don't judge that. Like, that's business. Go do it. But like you, I am guided by a higher mission. And so I'll tell you what we're rolling out. You make it sound like it's this big, huge thing. So it's kind of fun that you did that. But honestly, I think I have to kind of go upstream a little bit and connect some dots as to how and why we even got here. And then, what is this thing that we're doing? And so honestly, and since this whole podcast is based off giving, if I'm allowed, I'm going to go back and slow it and really connect all the dots to really, truly tell you why Phalanx is where it is here right now. There's two timelines that converged, business and giving, for me in my life. I started Phalanx, and I just wanted, honestly, when I first started Phalanx, I wanted to just make cool shit. That was literally my vision. And then after, fast forward for almost 10 years now, well, over 10 years now at this point, but fast forward from wanting to make cool shit to, wow, my team is really awesome. And without them, I can't do this. So I'm going to give to them, and I'm going to cherish them and love them and honor them and do whatever I can to support my team. And then that was nice. And then after a little while, I was like, you know what? I got to love these customers too, because without the customers, I got nothing. So it's the customers and the team. So I started to evolve a little bit more and started having this greater love and appreciation for the customers. And that just kept bringing my perspective higher. And then I started loving the fact that, you know what? These customers are part of jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is truly what gave me everything that I've done, everything I've built, the other businesses that I own, the coaching that I do. All of this came from no-gi jiu-jitsu. So I love jiu-jitsu. I have such a deep passion for it. And so as I fell in love with the team and then the customers and then the culture as a whole, I realized that Phalanx has got to be more than just making cool shit. Like, we got to do more. And so that's a timeline. So let's leave that timeline for a moment. Another timeline was just me in my life. I've never really been a big giver. When I was a kid, I wasn't a taker. I've always been a nice guy, and I've always been helpful, but I never really gave, I guess. It just didn't occur to me. I'm not talking about like a homeless person outside of 7-Eleven, here's some change. I'm talking about a meaningful, purposeful, like, I set my mind to go give this. Never did it. And then one day, it was Thanksgiving a number of years ago. I was with my wife-to-be, and we were driving out to Arizona, and we were in the middle of nowhere, and on Thanksgiving Day, and we parked somewhere to get fuel, and there was a fast food place next to it and all that. And I saw a guy in his car, and he just, probably on drugs, but just on Thanksgiving. So I saw that, and I was like, man, that bothers me for some reason today, just right now. And so I went in and said, you know what? I'm going to get some gas, but then I'm going to go buy some food at that fast food joint and give it to this guy over there. Okay. She's like, sure, no problem. So I go in there and I start buying stuff, and I bought some water, bought some food. And then I just started going crazy, like buying more and more and more and more. I don't know how much money I spent, but then I ended up with bags of things, and I walked out with bags, and I set everything down by where his car was, a car that he would have been living in that clearly hadn't moved in a long time. And I said, hey man, it's Thanksgiving. This is for you. And he looks up with these glossy eyes, and he's like, he looks up and he's like, thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Man.
I get back in my car, and I just completely lost it.
Yeah, man.
I started crying. I was like, what the hell is going on with me? What is all this salty discharge coming out of my eyes? I freaked out. And it's because that was the first time I really, truly gave.
Wow. Wow.
So then the next year, I'm like, I'm doing this again. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what can I do again? And that particular year, there was a fire in Northern California that just scorched the earth and removed an entire town. Gone. And they all, migrated, the survivors migrating over, and they were in gymnasiums and all these other places trying to put their life together. And I was like, God, maybe I could do something here. And so I actually hit up a friend who lived in that area. And I said, do you know anybody who lost everything? I'd like to help them. This is the following year. This is around Christmas time. And she's like, yeah, I do actually. And so it turns out in events like this, where an entire town is basically decimated, the people who get priority tend to be the elderly and then families, people with children. Yeah. But there's college students, there's other people that are important too.
Absolutely.
So there's a particular gal, and I made sure I remained nameless the best that I could. And she was an art student and lost everything. All of her art supplies, all of her paintings, everything. And geez. Yeah. And so we hooked her up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I just sent her cash. And after that, I was actually in the Sacramento airport flying back at the time when this was all happening. And I send the money and I say to my wife, like, I did it. And she's like, well, how much did we send her? I'm like, oh, this much money. And then she goes, well, do we have more? And so we look at our bank account. We did not have very much money at the time. Like, our life is very different now than it was then. Yeah. And so we ended up sending more. We're like, yeah, screw it. Let's do more.
I love it.
Got it. It's money. You can always make more money. Don't worry about money. And so we did. And then once again, like a big old baby, I'm crying in the middle of the airport. And I'm sitting there crying, like, whatever. That's who I am. Okay, so then what? The next year is the big one. That's the one that you know. This is the one that we did, the autism one.
Yeah.
And that one, for people, I apologize if anybody had heard the story already, but for that one, we're doing an autism rash guard giveaway. All the profits are going to go to the autism government, fund or whatever it is that they do, that government system. Yeah. And so we started running our campaign. And then somewhere in the middle there, I go, I don't know if I want to do this. I heard about all this money being stolen during Hurricane Katrina. I know that there was I know this happens, and I don't feel comfortable just blindly giving money to a government institution and not knowing what happens. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna switch gears right now in real time. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna give back to an individual. We're gonna take whatever we make and go boom right into one life.
Yeah.
And so I put a poll out there to the Phalanx Army. Does anybody know anyone in Jiu Jitsu within the realm of autism that could really use some help? Write it up. I'll read them all, and I'm going to pick somebody. Nice. And the one I ended up going with was a lady who had just lost her husband. So she was a recent widow with an autistic child. And I was like, there's the one. That's the one. I'm going to do her for sure. Okay. And so we do. And I wrote a letter and I wrote a check, and the check ended up being $10,000. And the letter just said, on behalf of the people of Jiu Jitsu, know that strangers care. Sincerely, all of us.
That's awesome, man.
Letterhead, none of that. And then here's the check. And then I had that sent to a guy who would privately give it to her without telling him or her who I am. He was just a delivery man. I wanted him to pretend like he didn't even know where it came from. Yeah. And he was kind enough, actually, he kind of filmed it on his phone, which she was cool with privately. So I got to see the footage of her being confronted and explain, and here's what's going on. And she's like, Jiu-Jitsu? What the hell's Jiu-Jitsu? But it was just so cool to see her reaction.
Love it, man.
And so this has been building in me. And so I've been doing little giving back for a long time inside Phalanx, little stuff here and there with rash guards and deals and the inner city youth programs. But it wasn't until I did it in my personal life, where I did the homeless guy in the gas station. And then the next year, and there's another one that I'm forgetting. I don't remember what it is. There's another year in there where there's another thing that we did. It escapes me right now, and then the one with the autism one, which was big. And that's when I'm like, I'm leveraging my companies to give back, all of them.
Amazing.
All 4 of them giving back. And so now that's what got us here. So the timeline of me falling in love with my team, falling in love with my customers, falling in love with the culture of jiu-jitsu as a whole was converging on, oh, I just gave back for the first time in my life. Oh, I just did it again. I just did it again. And now here we are. And so what we're doing this year, starting July 5th, the day after July 4th, for the whole month of the year, we're running another one, just like we did with the autism one, only this one is going to be what we call United We Roll. For short, we just call it Unity, the Unity campaign, but it's the United We Roll. And we have a rash guard that we've designed with multiple products. And it's got this Phalanx shield on it with these electrons floating around it. On the back, it says United We Roll, and it's got this whole galaxy theme. And so the concept of this is we're all of us in jiu-jitsu have one huge thing in common that the world has no clue about. Yeah. Like, if you know jiu-jitsu, you know it. If you don't know it, you're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And so what I want to do is I want to bring everybody together. I'm trying to be an advocate for all of jiu-jitsu. That's really what I wanted, how I want to do this. Awesome. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run this United We Roll campaign for the whole month of July. And the proceeds of that are going, I haven't figured it all out yet because I got to see how much money we actually make. Yeah. But the proceeds of that are going to get pumped right back into the gyms.
Love it, man. Yeah.
So the students who pay, it's going to go right back to your gyms.
That's awesome.
And so woven into the whole month of July is a survey form that anybody can fill out and nominate your gym for the money to go to your gym. What's your gym, and why should your gym be nominated for this cash infusion?
Yeah.
So those are going to be running. You don't have to purchase. But if you do purchase, you get like 3 or 4 times the votes. So your chances of being caught are way higher if you actually put in on this versus just go and nominate your gym. That should be obvious, right? Yeah. And so, yes, the essence of this is I have always believed, I don't want to say always, as I've evolved as an owner of in jiu-jitsu and connected to over 300 gyms around the world and the country, I have become a person with a unique perspective that maybe nobody has in jiu-jitsu. With all my connections from athletes to students to gym owners all over the place, I have surmised that the jiu-jitsu gym is the most precious component of what we do,
absolutely,
but also the most fragile.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Think about this. If there is no jiu-jitsu gym, why should Phalanx even exist if there are no jiu-jitsu gyms? Yeah. Without the dojo, there are no students. When there are no students, there are no apparel brands. When there are no students, there are no rising talent going to compete. There is no Richie Martinez if there's no gym, because Richie never became Richie. There's no boogeyman without the gym. That's so it's the most important part.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. It's the most fragile. Because people who create jiu-jitsu gyms are not, I just graduated from Harvard with a business degree and I'm going to go start a jiu-jitsu gym. You just don't do that. You start a jiu-jitsu gym because you freaking love jiu-jitsu.
Love jiu-jitsu, yeah.
You want to teach and you want to make it your life. I want to make this my life. I want to quit my day job. I want to teach full time. I want to have my own dojo with my own students, my own affiliation. That's what you want.
Yeah.
But what you soon realize is that you are not in the business of jiu-jitsu. You're in the business of business. You got to have a healthy business.
Yeah.
And so you have to take that black belt off, put your white belt on, put your business cap on and go, now I am the student. And and sometimes there's resistance there. You know, there's some gym owners that feel like they know it all in business now on the mat and off the mat. And that that contributes to the fragility of it.
Sure.
Then there's and I don't mean this disparagingly, there's the uneducated component of the owners who just don't know business. They don't understand how to read their financials. They don't know the difference between a profit and loss and a balance sheet and what those even do. They don't know earnings before taxes. They don't even know what depreciation means. All of these things, they just like, I don't know. I'm just going to go teach. So there's another fragile component is then they leverage that to somebody that they hopefully trust. And I have some horror stories that I could tell you about really good-hearted black belt jiu-jitsu instructors who love teaching, who relied on business people to run their show and ruin the whole thing.
Yeah.
So there's another fragile component. So there's all of these problems with it that I'm like, man, I got to help. So for the last about 5 years, I've been privately coaching jiu-jitsu gym owners. I'm about to do it more publicly, but I've been doing it privately because we supply their gear. You know, some of them, they come to us, we supply their gear. And I'm like, hey, how well are you running your business? Are you a little open to talk about it? Are there any pain points I can help you with?
Sure.
And I learn about their pain points. And over time, for 5 years now, hundreds of gyms. Yeah. I've been able to batch in my mind the major areas where there are problems. And so I am dedicating a large part of what I do to going and coaching and helping these jiu-jitsu gym owners humbly. Because when I'm on the mat, so here's an example. Nathan Orchard, he's a 10th Planet black belt out of Seattle. Yeah. Awesome. Amazing competitor. So ferocious. He blatantly admits, like, I don't know much about business. So I want to help these guys. When I show up on the mat with Nathan, I have my purple belt on, the no-gi virtual purple belt on, and I listen to everything he says. That's right. Yeah. And what I'm trying to teach these guys is when we now get off the mat, we go sit in your office, you need to listen to everything that I say. Yeah. It's good. And then figure out what you want to do from there. I'm not saying follow me like gospel. Yeah. Take that black belt off. Yeah. And so, okay. So the jiu-jitsu gym is the most precious yet fragile. I've dedicated a portion of my life within Phalanx to helping jiu-jitsu gyms because who cares about apparel? I got to help the people who are the cornerstone. That's great. And so this charity thing that we're doing is one more component that's going to help them because it's going to be a cash infusion. Yeah. Who does that? Show me a jiu-jitsu apparel and why would an apparel company do it too? Think about that. What do I get out of it short term? Yeah. I get long term because your gym continues to thrive and more students might buy Phalanx. Sure. Okay. So I don't know of any other brands that do it. Maybe they do. Maybe they're like me and they just kept their mouth shut for a long time. But I do strongly believe that Phalanx stands far beyond the rest when it comes to actually caring about the culture. Yeah. And what I'm really loving now is I'm starting to see more and more people valuing that too. Yeah. And awesome. Unfortunately, my generation, Generation X, is not one of them. But the younger generation seem to care more about, wait, before I spend my money on you, what do you do? What do you do with my money? That's cool. So we're growing a lot from that. So I know I'm a little bit all over the place here, but
oh, you're good, man. It's tracking right, man. Okay. And I'll chime in. I'd say this, man. Motive matters. Motive matters. I tell people you can do a lot of action or activity. You can say this or say that, but what's driving that is motive, right? And if the motive is pure, the motive is not. And like you said, you don't have to do this. You're choosing to do this because you genuinely love the culture of jiu-jitsu, and you've identified the fragile status of the local academy, right? Without the local academy, there are no instructors. Man, there's no Phalanx, there's no tournaments. I applaud you because, again, you are proven right here, right now, even rolling out this Unity campaign, right? Another rash guard that I will soon be buying. Okay, I got it. So, but in that, it's for the greater cause. How cool it'd be to start see pictures from around the nation, around the world. Together we roll, man. And it's every color, every creed. It's not discriminated by race or religion or orientation. The jiu-jitsu mat is the melting pot of the human race. Yeah. And so I love it, dude. I love the heartbeat of it. I know the motive is pure behind it. And you've answered it a little bit, but I want to ask you maybe some follow-up questions. Now we roll it out, the Unity campaign, a cash infusion into these local academies, man. Maybe maybe they've been rolling on those rough mats and they just wore them out for 10 plus years and they need to upgrade. But the jiu-jitsu owner is going to keep putting into his students and all the other things that are maybe more important at that time, or, getting past COVID and their academy, had struggled. Some have closed. What would be, outside of your love for jiu-jitsu and you identifying the fragile nature of the local academy, you've explained really well why you're doing this, right? Why you're doing this. You want to give back to that core of jiu-jitsu. What would be your intention, or what is a goal or a result that you would like to see out of this kind of long term? So,
Yeah, I think what I'd like to see long term is that we're going to do this every year now. So what I'd like to see is it just to get so big that the amount of money that we're donating back to the culture has a significant impact on it. So big. I just want it to be big. I don't care if it's like the best selling thing we do is our charity stuff and our gis or whatever. It would be so awesome to me for big picture, for this thing to continue going year after year and get into this rhythm where I can start bolting on other things into it. Like, for example, maybe next year, I've already started thinking about this, is not everybody wants to buy a rash guard or spats or a t-shirt or shorts. Some people might want to just donate, put a GoFundMe or some type of option to where you can also just do this too. Yeah. So I want to figure out to just how I can get more people buying and build that up, that big old bank account up, and then just take that chunk and go bam and throw it right back into the culture. That would, my long term would be to actually feel the effect of this small apparel brand impacting the overall culture through a yearly cycle of charitable giving right back in there. Which we still do our other charitable things too. We're doing autism one next year. Like, there's a few cornerstone ones we're going to do every year. But this charity one that we're just starting out, the Unity one, that's all about getting back to jiu-jitsu only. My long term would be to see this grow year after double year after year, double, to where I'm giving away so much money that it catches the attention of maybe like bigger people out there, people, influencers that are out there that really care. I just thought is off the top of my head, and I certainly don't ever go here, but like, imagine if someone like Joe Rogan mentioned that, hey, I just heard of a brand that's constantly giving that. Imagine how much, and then imagine how many orders would come in, and then how much money goes back in. Like, it feeds itself. So
absolutely,
that'd probably be my big picture on this thing, is how big can we take it? And how much money can I actually pump back into the culture every single year?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. And that's the kind of vision to reality. And again, it's that team effort. And speaking of that, for that vision to become a reality year after year, for it to grow and expand, to get bigger, maybe there's just generous people out there that say, hey, I don't do jiu-jitsu. I'm a business owner, but my grandson does jiu-jitsu and it changed his life. The power of the personal testimony is part of jiu-jitsu that I love. Your personal journey, my personal journey.
Yeah.
The man who came into the academy 300 plus pounds, and today he competes at 190 pounds, because his health and wellness got on track, and now he's just a savage, jiu-jitsu head. He's in the gym multiple times a week, and or the person who came in struggling with drugs and alcohol, and it was jiu-jitsu that gave them a new addiction, right, that replaced that old one. That's one's healthy. And it's all those stories combined, driven by the motive, and how I can see this thing just starting to roll, man. That whole unity, better together mentality.
Together. I like that.
And so let me ask you, this is a follow-up question to that then. So we know the what is the Unity campaign, going to kick off July 5th. I love it.
Yep.
Rolling it all July, ordering the gear, all the proceeds from that campaign are going to go infuse right back into the culture of jiu-jitsu, into a gym surveys there.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
very
multiple gyms. Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
sure.
or multiple gyms. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
whatever it is, it's going in. Yeah.
long-term goal, keep it rolling, make it an annual thing, year after year, just bigger and better.
Yeah.
So let me ask this: what is a tangible way? How can people get involved? Right. What I know is every championship basketball team, it's not their starting five. They got a deep bench. It's the team that's got the deepest bench that can come in and give those stars a break that go the furthest. What can the bench, all of us out here on the mats of jiu-jitsu, do to help Phalanx drive this thing forward?
Honestly, man, it's just awareness. It's just sharing posts, stories, and just showing that this is beyond just buying a cool product. You know, jiu-jitsu culture is basically what's the dopest design I can buy right now.
Sure. Yeah.
That if you raise your awareness above that and you look at these companies as a whole and what their values are, you know, that right there, I think is the big piece.
Yeah. That's awesome. Awareness, sharing their stories, being part of the process.
Sharing, just getting the word out. If you get one of the emails, you know, you probably lead or command a large volume of people in the pastor work that you do. Just hey, anybody here, you guys know I love jiu-jitsu. You've seen me with black eyes here and there and wondering what's going on.
Yeah,
I'm trying to help this brand do this thing. It's all about giving. You know, I love to give. If it means anything to you, and that's honestly where next year, and these are going to get bigger, is because some people maybe at the church be like, I don't do jiu-jitsu. What am I going to buy? But if the GoFundMe thing or later is attached next year, that would be better. But honestly, man, it's just awareness and sales boils down to that.
Yeah, man. I love it, dude. It's such a worthy campaign. It's driven from a pure motive. It's right. And it's man, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how it all comes together. I tend to be a person. I'm a goal-oriented, task-driven person. So like I set the goal out there, and then I work my tasks in reverse order to where I'm at today. So I know what to do to get there, right? And so it's going to be exciting just to see it unfold and to be able to help kind of just post and repost and share stories. I can assure you this, my friend, here and all my jiu-jitsu connections here on the Midwest, East Coast, here at Twisted Church, you know, even though we're just a year old, I feel like we've done a good job at our events and we have caught the attention of some of the biggest names in the game. And it's been exciting. But we tell everybody, man, we're powered by Phalanx, dude. Like Phalanx is like, you're our flagship sponsor. And it's not because you gave us some influx of cash. It's we believe my brand is only going to connect with real legit people and real legit brands, you know, and I can't wait just to see how this thing blows up, man.
And I see a little share thing here. Let me click on it. And I see if I can show you what the collection is going to look like.
Oh man, I hope so. That'd be sweet. We get a sneak peek.
Is it? Am I doing it?
I'm not sure. I don't see it yet on the screen share.
Is it? Can you see?
Oh, hold on. Something just popped up here from Chris. I think we're gonna try to add you to the stream here.
Okay, let's see if you can see my.
Yeah, there you go. I got your screen now set up. Oh, sweet, dude.
So there's the front. I don't know if I have a picture of the back. So it's going to be available in long, short sleeve for men, long sleeve V cut for the ladies, short sleeve V cut for the ladies, kids. Got to take care of the kids in long sleeve and short sleeve.
Love it.
And then we've got HPLT shorts. These are our longer shorts. We've had them for a long time. A lot of taller guys like these, a lot of bigger guys like these.
Yeah.
So HPLT, RIZR, classic. We've been selling those really well.
Love those.
And this is the BATL, our second newest fight short. And then the HPTX, our brand new one.
Yeah.
And so each of them has the unity, and then it also has the Phalanx logo and United We Roll.
Love it, man.
And then the last piece that and then spats. So you got spats, ladies spats, which by the way, we have really done a fantastic job perfecting the women's spats. Last year's weren't so hot. These are awesome.
Love it.
these tees.
Yeah, man.
So it's got the unity symbol, Phalanx Jiu Jitsu. On the back, United We Roll. And then on the sleeve, it says limited edition, and then this year.
Nice.
And so it's going to be available as in three colors. There's the charcoal gray with black. There's the white with purplish.
Love
and
it.
then there's the black with gray.
Love it. Yeah, those are sick, man. Those are absolutely sick. Looking, look phenomenal.
Sometimes I do these screen shares when I'm doing podcasts, and I get in trouble. I'm like, how am I able to show that? Here we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. United We Roll.
Man, that's great.
Just think about how cool it is.
Yeah.
How cool it is if you're training in let's say you go down to Florida for some random thing that you want to do. There's like a tournament there or something, and you see someone wearing that, and you just know.
Yeah, man.
You're like, yo, you don't even need to know that guy. But if you go to Florida and you're in a tournament and you see another dude in the bullpen and he's got that rash guard, you guys are going to make eye contact, and you know that you're going to look at each other and be like, sup?
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
So, I mean, that's unheard of, unless you love your favorite brand and it's like a really small boutique style brand that very few people know about, and then you see somebody and you're like, oh dude, you know about them too? Okay, you might have a moment there. But you will have a moment. And so like the autism one from last year, when I see people who are in tournaments wearing it, I'll see like a thing on my Instagram of a fight to win or whatever, and there's like a purple belt guy and he's wearing that. Oh, there's just a different feeling because that guy bought that rash guard for the sole purpose of helping other people.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And I love that. You're exactly right. Someone who travels to tournaments and goes and rolls a lot, it'll be super cool when you see those rash guards and you know that there's, hey, you know what? That person was part of the bigger picture, the give back, right? The cash infusion, taking care of the culture, the community. Yeah. I love that, dude. And those things look sick, man. I'm so glad. I feel like it's a privilege, man. We got the little sneak peek. We got to put it out there for all to see. And it'll be, July 5th, man. It's just a few days left to wait. And
July 5th. So it'll be running from Tuesday, July 5th through the 31st. We've got some campaigns that, we'll be featuring woven in throughout those weeks. Yeah. There will be a link tree thing that can take people right to it, to both buying the collection and then also doing the survey, filling it out and seeing why your gym should be honored with the cash infusion. And then after July, I have to do all of the work. I got to gather, I got to read all those things. We got to do our financial thing. And then we got to figure out how we're going to distribute it. So it'll be a little bit of a lag once it's all over before we send out another campaign saying, bam, we did all this. Because also I think I don't know. See, here's a tough one. I might want to ask these gyms. So let's say we give a gym $2,000. Yeah. They might not want everybody to know that they just got $2,000 cash. I'm not really sure. So I'm a little, this is new, so I'm still a little bit loose, but I just want everybody to know that it runs in July. And then in August, we got to do all of our due diligence and all of that stuff. Yep. Then we're going to go to those gyms, hook them up with the cash, and then put a big thank you campaign together and come up with like a really cool way to honor everybody that has supported us. Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. I'm excited to be part of it. I'm excited to share the information often. I know there's a lot of people in the jiu-jitsu community that their life has been touched and changed for the better via jiu-jitsu. And I know they're going to pour in, man. They're going to jump on the opportunity. Yeah, right? It's going to be great. I don't know anybody who's consistently doing jiu-jitsu where it didn't have a massive impact on their life. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know why I wanted. And it's one of those things that you go have knee surgery because of jiu-jitsu. You break your toes, you break your thumbs, and then you just can't wait to heal up to go back and do more jiu-jitsu, Mm-hmm. And that's where, like, I was thinking about this the other day. I was last night, actually, I was rolling, and another guy who just sustained a little bit of an injury, he was in there. Right? Street clothes, taking video, talking.
And I said to him, I said, Vic, I said, I'm so glad to see you here. I said, dude, when I had knee surgery, I came to practice twice a day with a pad and a pen. Every morning I went to practice, and I said, I physically can't be out there, but I'm not going to lose a step mentally.
Wow.
I'm going to watch. I'm going to take notes. And I went to go to practice twice, and I made notes, and I watched the efficiency of how people was passing or whatever the lesson was. I was paying attention to the details, and I was like, I can rep this in my mind. And then, I you know, so
That's
to
awesome.
see guys come in, I was like, jiu-jitsu changed my life so much. And the culture of being in my gym is so important to me that it's a part of my habit. You know what I mean? Of being there.
I can't tell you how many stories I've heard from fans and customers or whatever about what jiu-jitsu has done for their life. Women whose lives have been improved after getting divorced and then being in a community of mostly men and learning that, you know, being around like this masculine energy, I guess, and rebuilding and finding new mates and whatever, just you name it. People who've lived in their car and then jiu-jitsu got their mind right, and now they've got jobs and like they got their mind right. You know, even me, when I was at like my lowest point in my life after my dad had passed away, and I was like, oh man, it was just so hard for me. But the one thing I kept doing was jiu-jitsu. It was the only thing. Like I started getting depressed. I didn't want to do stuff. I'd go to work, I'd come home. But for some reason, I never stopped doing that.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I can't imagine what would have happened if I would have abandoned that as well.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Your tournament that you want to do, I want to help you with that.
Yeah.
And then to anybody out there who wants to support each other, this is the way.
That's awesome. For sure, man. Man, Chris, it's so good to always talk with you. And I know man, we're at 42 minutes. We could probably talk for another 42 minutes about jiu-jitsu and life and business. And there's so many good synergies. As we wrap up here today, I just want to take a moment as we get ready to close this out. And Chris, don't hang up. I'll end our broadcast and then chat with you for a second. But for those out there, man, thank you so much. My name is Dave Beaver. It's been awesome having you join. This is what I want to ask you to do. If you watch the show, share the show. Share it with everybody in the jiu-jitsu community, the Grappling with Life page, Twisted Church, Phalanx. It's all going to be available to be shared from those platforms. And let's roll together, man, right? We got this universal sign here. Jiu-jitsu is the way. There's all these cool brands. But at the same time, what are those brands doing for others? Well, my man Chris, the founder, the mastermind of Phalanx, he answered what they're doing. They're giving back. They're giving back to men like you and me. They're infusing back into the most important part of the jiu-jitsu community. That's the local academy, the dojo, the gym, whatever you call yours, and the students. And so what a great opportunity for us in the jiu-jitsu community to come together, purchase these rash guards, unified, man. Together we roll, and let's keep rolling forward. So thank you for joining our show here today. Cannot wait to see those amazing new spats, fight shorts, and rashies at the local tournaments that we got coming up here in the days to come. It'll be really cool. We'll give each other a little, hey, nice rash guard, and then we'll attempt to choke and heel hook each other. It'll be awesome. So, hey, God bless you guys. Thanks for joining the show, and we'll talk to you here real soon.